Here we go, episode 3. I'm going to start taping it right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Independent Artist. I'm Nick Albanese, and before I begin, I'd just like to take a moment to remember a friend of mine. It's about 11 years. It's 11 years ago today as I'm recording this. My friend Arthur Kokorian passed away. I worked with him for many years, like 5 years. We worked at a company in Smithfield, Rhode Island, side by side, and we hung out a lot afterwards, going to see movies and out to eat, go walking, do some exercise together, encourage each other to lose some weight, which I'm still, 11 years later, still trying to do. Let me take a sip of my tea. I have a little sore throat this weekend. Figures episode 3, third time's a charm, they say. That feels good on my throat. The nice green tea. Yeah, and we would go to, remember WBRU? They used to have those free concerts every Thursday through the summer. Me and Arthur, we'd go to those. So I just like to, acknowledge him and out to his friends and family that I still think about him. I still have dreams about him. I miss him a lot. He was a great guy. He was actually in a couple of projects I did over the years. He always would play whatever part I would tell him to do, and he would do it happily. And so he's a great guy. Just want to acknowledge that. Yeah, so here we are, episode 3. The college years I went on after, like I told you last episode, I think I talked about when I did the Broadway Follies in high school in Mount Pleasant, the one night only, and that I knew that I wanted to do this. And I went to my guidance counselor the following Monday, and I said, change my major to theater. So I went in as a theater major into college the fall of 1992. Because I always had that desire to be an actor, and I always had the ability to play a character. Now, now I'm there at college, and that's where you learn your craft. You develop it. You learn the terms, the tech terms, your stage movement. Now, let me just say, I think people are born. I believe people are born with that talent or the gift, whatever they have, whatever God gave them. Some people have other gifts. Like my wife, she's studying to be a nurse, and she tells me all these tech terms and stuff, that medical terms that they learn in school. And it sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher to me, because it's like womp, womp, womp. My brain doesn't work that way. I don't understand that stuff. I'm an artist, so everybody's born with different abilities, different gifts. And I believe you're born to be a performer or a writer. And now going to college or taking a class that helps you develop that. It helps you bring that out and kind of brings you down the right road to where you want to go and how you want to, carry on and bring that gift that you have. It helps it fine tune it. That's the word I'm looking for. It helps you fine tune it. And because there's people that, they have the desire maybe to do it, but they lacking something. And I saw it a lot when I did stand-up comedy, because you're born to be a comic, to be on stage. And you saw guys year after year just struggled with it. And people are just, they feel bad to tell them. It feels really bad to tell them that they're no good and they're not funny. And they should realize that just from performing and no one's laughing. You would think if no one's laughing, it's every time, it's not the audience's fault. It may be you. And one guy I can think of, I'm not gonna name names, and it took him years, but he's out of it now. And I think he realized it wasn't for him, And I think you have to realize that, almost like an addict that goes to rehab. They have to hit bottom and realize they're an addict to get help, because people could tell them you need help, and they won't get help until they realize they need it. It's like same situation. But another thing, going to college as a theater major, or if you take a class, you know what's great about it? You meet people that are just like you. People that have the same drive, the same desires, same dreams. And I remember my first day acting class, that first semester, the first year. I met my good friend. We're still good friends, Maciek Pulowski, and he's an immigrant from Poland. He had a great accent. You couldn't understand some words. Some words sound like other words, and I was used to that because, many of you know, I grew up with immigrant parents from Sicily, so I was used to that broken English. And he is actually, we're still great friends. He's actually a priest now, and he's back in Poland. And pray for that side of the world. He's right at the border of Ukraine, and a lot of refugees coming in. A lot of prayers towards that world. Prayers for the whole world. That's affecting all of us, in some way or another. And so he's a priest out there. But we just struck up a friendship right away. We first had our first conversation really outside of class. Is at the first audition I ever went to. It was for Chicago, the musical. If you remember that they made the big movie a few years ago. Richard Gere, Cedar Jones, and oh my God, my mind's drawing a blank. The actress, the blonde there, the one. She just looks like she's sucking on a lemon. Her eyes are always squinty. She was in Me, Myself, and Irene. I'll get her name later if you want to write a comment what her name is. But that was it was a good movie. It won some awards, and so we did Chicago the musical. That was my first audition at CCRI, and I was nervous, man, because it was like 3-part audition. It was like the reading the lines, and it was the dancing, and it was the singing. And singing, I'm not bad. I mean, I'm pretty good at karaoke. I'm a good singer. Dancing, I just sucked. I wasn't getting any of the steps they were showing. And then the lines, when I had to do the actual acting lines, oh man. Hold on, I'm taking a sip of my tea. Um, I was so nervous. I remember the line was "Go get Roxy for me," and my friend Matchek was there, and he still busts me up for this even today. He's like, I was so nervous, I was stuttering the lines. I was like, go get Roxy for me, would you? And I totally sucked. I was like, I'm not getting in this play at all, this musical. And actually, what was I say? Actually, I did. They needed chorus members, so I ended up in the chorus, and I was in like 7 numbers, and it was a great experience because I had to play I had to do 7 different costume changes. It was like a mad rush backstage, like panic to change quick. Sometimes you only had like 2 minutes to do it and get back on stage for the next number. It was a great experience, and then they did Let's Get a Divorce the following that spring, and I ended up getting a little bit part in that in the first act as a caretaker, and then I came back in the third act as a police officer. And then it was a 2-year college, but I actually went part time, so I did 3 years. And then by my third year, I remember because you gotta take the classes. You learn that as you're there longer, you get the bigger parts because they know you're gonna be leaving, so they want to give you that experience. And then by the third year, they did Tea House of the August Moon. And thinking back now, I don't even know if they could do that play anymore unless they have like real Japanese actors because everything's so politically correct now. It's like crazy. We all played Japanese characters, a lot of us in that play, and we actually learned Japanese lines. And I played Mr. Seiko. It was a great time. It was a great experience. I still remember some of those lines in Japanese. I don't know if they could do that today though. I don't know. To tell you the truth, yeah, that would probably be a no-no, and you would probably get your show would get canceled. You would get canceled, and they would ruin your whole career. But it was college, we didn't have hardly any Japanese kids who were going to the school there, so we had to act. It's called acting, people. I don't know. See, to me, people get upset when someone of a guy that's not that ethnicity or that race plays it. I mean, I definitely can understand the blackface, and that's freaking stupid. I wouldn't do anything like that. But even to do voiceovers and you can do voices of like different nationalities. I don't know what the big deal is. It's acting. That's what actors do. They play people that they're not. They're other characters. And I'm sure most of you can agree with that. I'm sure one of you two you're going to be upset that I said that. But that's life. Get over it. And then the last play we did was Schmolnick's Waltz, and that was like my biggest role in the college years. And I got to play this Jewish father, and my friend Matchek played Schmolnick, the lead. That character was on stage the whole time. I don't know how he did it. It was so much dialogue. He studied so hard with those lines, and he did a great job. He did a great job. I got to beat him up a couple of times in each performance because he was like his character was in love with my daughter, and I didn't like him because he was like kind of like a peasant. But it was a cool play, and then I went on from there. after college, or during college, I ended up in a couple of shows, a few shows with my friend Bruce Calver. He was doing dinner theater at the time, and he did this speakeasy, about bootlegging play called Elliot's Nest, and we're all named after alcohol, and I was Johnny Walker, Elliot's bodyguard, and that was a lot of fun and then I was, in college you're performing, friends and family come see you, and when friends and family come see you, it's they're gonna tell you, even if you suck, they're gonna tell you you're good. They enjoyed it. They're not gonna tell you to your face you weren't good. But when you go out and perform for other companies and you're performing for strangers and you're making them laugh, that you have something. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing with comedy. If you're performing comedy in front of strangers and they're cracking up, you know what I mean? It's not family and friends that you invited over to see you at a open mic or a showcase or something like that. And the one time I really knew, okay, I got something here, was I can't remember if it was before I left CCRI and went to California that summer, or was it after? I can't remember, man. It was the '90s, so I think it was before. But I did a thing at Brown University. It's a little theater group, African American theater group, called Rights and Reason, and they were doing these one act plays, and they needed like one play had to be this white family, and it was called My Father Hates the Rain, and I remember doing maybe I think we did 3 performances in one weekend, and every show it was people I didn't know in the audience. And then they did like a Q&A afterwards, and then a meet and greet, and just talking to people, and the response I got from people from my performance. I was like, you know what? This is these are not people that know me. They know me as this actor playing this character on stage, and they give me the honest feedback, and it was great. And I knew I had something. So it that kept me going, and I went that summer. We finished school, and Matchek's actually his father passed away that summer, and it was crazy because we had this whole plan that we were going to leave for California, and I thought it was going to be on hold, after his dad passed away, and we still went. He said, "No, no, let's still go." Because what am I going to do? Hang around here and grieve? And so we left for California in the summer of 1995. That was my first of my 2 times going out west, out to California. And I'll get into that more next time on the podcast about my California experience. I'll get into detail of that first trip. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're interested in acting and writing and performing, just go do it. Go do it. You got to keep doing it, and people will let you know. You'll know if you have a key sense of what's going on around you, and you can read people, and you're doing stand up or something, and no one's laughing. Like, you got to keep working at it, or maybe it's not for you. But I think most of you, after a few years, you would know, and a lot of you probably know you were born with it, born with that desire, born with that talent, and you go for it, and you keep going for it, and you're gonna have a lot more down times than high times. I'm telling you. Been doing this over 20 years, and there's a lot more no's than yeses. And then when you do get that yes, it makes up for all the hundreds of no's you heard, because it's such a high to be on that stage in that play or on that movie set. To me, I'm at the point where just yesterday I just sent in a self tape. I got a call. They wanted me to the director liked my look. They want me to read these lines. I did a self take. I sent it in, and now boom, I'm just gonna forget about it. Just forget it. I'm at the point I don't even think about it anymore. Because if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't happen, I'm the independent artist. I'm working on other things. I'm writing. I'm working on a new one-man show, which I can hopefully I'll be announcing to you soon on my podcast. It's a brand new one-man show that I'm doing at a brand new location that's opening up soon, and it'll probably be, I think, in June. So stay tuned for that. So it's a little teaser there of an announcement. But that's about it. I mean, I just don't think about it. I just keep going, and if I don't get the job, I just do my own thing, and that keeps me busy, keeps me training in my acting, in my writing, and I'm always doing something. That's the thing. And you have those high times, you're gonna have those low times, and believe me, there's a lot more low times. And that's the career we chose. But if you're born to do it, you can't help it. You can't help it. It's in your blood. It's in your DNA. It's your world, man. So, so thanks for listening to episode 3, and I'll get into my California trip on the next episode. Okay? Take care. God bless. Ciao. Ciao.